Hello and welcome to the Greenburgh Student News Network. My name is Blake Feinstein and I'm a student at Edgemont High School.
I'm Lily Boyum and I also go to Edgemont High School. Today we're going to the Greenburgh Police Department to learn the ins and outs of how it works.
Join us as we talk to officers, EMTs, and detectives as we learn what they do for the community and what makes their jobs so important.
Hi, I'm Nastasha McGehraty and I'm an EMT for Greenburgh Police Department.
And I'm Nicole Nigro, and I'm a police officer for Greenburgh Police Department.
And what inspired you to become a police officer and EMT?
So I actually was training horses before I became a cop. Never wanted to be a cop. And I was in my third year of college. A lot of my friends were becoming cops at the time. And it's something different every single day. And you get to be outside a lot, which I love. So I took the test and now I'm a cop.
Yeah, I was always interested in the medical field. My grandmother was a nurse down in Cornell and my mom was a nurse in PA, and I've always found just something pulling me towards it. But a couple of my friends, they joined FDNY, became EMTs and medics, and I kind of got to practice with them and realized, like, hey, this is something that I want to do. I don't want to be in a hospital in one setting. I want it to be in multiple settings all the time.
How useful are these rails?
They're great. They're very useful.
I'm just curious, because
So there's a lot of times when we're moving and we're trying to work on a patient, we may have to go around. So this setup is great because we can kind of move around each other. But we can be flying down a highway or a street because we need to get you to the hospital immediately. So these are in a way stabilizing bars where we can kind of move around without getting slung, right? Obviously you want to be belted in when you're moving and seat belted for your safety, but this is pretty much our chariot. This is our monitors. So our medics, they use this. They'll be able to check your heart out. We can do your blood pressure on this, check your oxygen saturations. We can shock you with this. We can also determine if you're having a heart attack, all those things. This is the medic's nice big drug bag. So if he's going to give you an IV, he has pretty much every drug under the sun. We carry ice packs, vomit bags, all those things, airways. So we can place you on oxygen. We have all the things that we're going to need for if you stop breathing.
What's the difference between an EMT and a medic?
So emergency medical technician is basically your first route. That's what you're going to do when you first get into this career. You become an EMT, and we have basically state protocols that we follow just as well as the medics, but we stop at a certain point. So he has, say 100 fancy drugs. I may only use 10 fancy drugs versus the paramedic. But the paramedic's allowed to give you an IV, and he's allowed to place you on a cardiac monitor. We are kind of, yeah, pretty much.
Can both of you describe what a typical day looks like for you?
So she'll probably say the same thing. There is no typical day ever. Besides the first 10 minutes of our day, we go to roll call. And that's where we're given our assignments for the day. And then anything could happen. And you could ask her to. It's a lot of aided calls. We go on a lot of medical calls. But it can be anything. So it's typically an 8-hour shift. You could obviously get held for a double. That'll happen every once in a while. So that's 16 hours. And we respond to everything you could imagine. Even stuff that police officers do not know how to handle. People call me for their boiler breaking. I'm that's not a cop thing. But it could be anything. So.
Yeah, pretty much the same. You can get a list from A to Z on one day. It could be a day where everybody's sense of gravity is off and everybody's just falling. And then you have those days where it's very serious and you have to kind of get to work, and EMS and the officers, we work hand in hand. So it can be something, very serious like a car crash, or, maybe very little, my stomach hurts. So.
My name is Detective Mike Marino, the town of Greenburgh Police Department. I've been a police officer here for 27 years. Right now my function is I run all the IT for the department, among some other things here and there. So I want to show you guys right now our 911 dispatch center. This is where we receive 911 calls, regular phone calls, as well as where we dispatch all of our police units and medical units in the town. Come on in. Welcome. So what you see here, we have 4 positions. You can rotate over here. Want to see dispatchers here? They take all 911 calls that come into the town, regular phone calls that come into the town, as well as they do all the dispatching of police cars and EMS cars. They also do what's called emergency medical dispatching. So they could walk you through, somebody's having a medical emergency, dispatcher Bartro is trained to tell you how to do CPR or do other types of necessary assistance. See, she has all different types of maps, shows status of all, these are all her units. Not necessarily being out on the road doing this and that, a lot of it is she deals with a lot of stuff. A lot of people call, and like somebody told you earlier, nobody's calling because they're having a good day. So they're always calling with some kind of issue, whether it be minor or very serious. So she's the first line when people call 911 and they need assistance. We have this other cool feature. So typically when you call 911, we want you to call from a landline phone so that we know where you are. However, we have it's called Rapid SOS. So when you call from your Android or iPhone, we could tell exactly where you are. So say you're lost in the woods or you get into an accident and you're not sure exactly where you are, as long as you stay on the phone with us, we could pretty much locate where you are. We could even, so if somebody's calling and they're on, say, the Sprain Parkway, she could say, okay, you're gonna get off at the next exit and we're gonna have a police officer meet you there because we know exactly where they are when they call. And these here, this shows her where all of our cars are. So she knows who's closest to the scene when she has to dispatch someone.
Oh my gosh. This is our headquarters, and these are where all the cars currently that have their KUTs, which is their computers that are in the car. We're able to see that. We're able to tell also, like, if the car is off, if it's idling, how much gas is left. So this particular car tells me there's 95% gas left in their tank, and it is off.
Wow.
And then if we zoom out, I can see all of our vehicles throughout our town.
That's really great.
Yeah, so in the town we have some cameras throughout the town at different locations. So when she gets a call in, she has a heads up view. She knows exactly what's going on. So if you're, say you're in Hartsdale Village and somebody says, oh, this is happening, she could look on here and she could tell the officer, oh, I see the guy running here, or what's going on. So it definitely enhances some of our capabilities.
Are you able to see, like this is just a question, with these cameras, can you see any of the license plates or anything like that on the
Yes,
cars?
we have the ability to zoom in pretty close.
See me later, my room.
So they're called PTZ cameras, pan tilt zoom. So she could zoom in and do whatever is necessary. This is the radio console. So she has all these different resources to dispatch the ambulances and the police cars, talk to them. Also, we have a handy feature that as the car talks, she knows exactly who is calling.
How does the Greenburgh Police Department work to build trust and maintain strong relationships with the community?
So we're getting a lot better about that. So I don't know if you guys know about like our community policing unit. So they've tried to like hold events in the past where we just have events where the community can come. You'll have like a post a lot of times that's kind of your post every day. So we'll kind of get out of our cars and say hi to business owners and people that live in the community. And like I've even handed out my cell phone number to like different businesses or whatever if they need anything. So that's how I personally do it. And then community policing has been like very big on that. We have an SRO in one of the schools. So that's a huge thing because we haven't had one since I've been here. So yeah.
So should somebody get arrested, This is the first step. They come into what's called a booking room. They're placed into this holding cell where they're sat down here. They're obviously searched first. They're placed down here, they're handcuffed. And this is where it's called booked. This is where we get all their information and we charge them with the crime. So you stay in here, the officer gets all their, basically just does a lot of paperwork, gets everything taken care of. You see over here it's called a data master. This is for, like Officer Nigro was telling you, she is a DRE. That's how she can recognize if somebody is under the influence of drugs or alcohol. However, when they get arrested, we bring them here, and this is what they glow into. So this gives us the actual blood and alcohol content. So this is a very important machine here. Once somebody's arrested, they have to be arraigned, or they're released on a desk appearance ticket. If they have to wait to see a judge to be arraigned, they have to be held. They're brought from the booking room up to here, and this is where they're lodged. So we have separate cells for men and women. So this is the men's cell. It's, as you see, it's not the most comfortable, but you have toilet, sink, and you would be held here until arraignment, which we try to get everybody arraigned right away. We really don't want to keep people.
What's the longest someone could spend in here?
Sometimes people have to stay overnight. So if a crime happens at night, they may have, and they can't be released on a desk appearance ticket, they will be lodged here until the judge gets in the morning. So we have 4 cells up there for men. And we have 2 cells down there for women. Okay? One thing you would notice is it does look the same, however, there's no cameras in here. So whenever a woman is arrested, we have a female officer has to stand by and will stay here. So we don't keep cameras on women while they're in here. So they have, it's called a female officer will stand by with them. Okay? It's a standard operating procedure. This is our fingerprint room. So we don't do fingerprints the old-fashioned way with ink anymore. Now everything is done through this scanning system, where it's basically a digital scanner, and we roll all your prints, scanner, and then we take a digital photo view. All right?
Like a mug shot.
Exactly. This is where you're mugged and printed.
Oh, okay.
And this is sent up to the state of New York, where you check to see if there's any wants and anything like that. All right.
And how does the police department address mental health concerns, both for officers and you guys and the Greenburgh community?
So we have something called a peer support team for us that I'm actually on with a couple of other people. And officers, EMS, anyone that works here, firefighters can come to us and say like, hey, I'm having an issue with this. Can you help me out? And we're trained on different things on how we can help them. It could be anything here or outside of here, whether it's family or their pets or they're stressed out about work. So that's how we handle that. And then with the outside community, we've been working very closely with MCRT, which is like the mobile crisis unit.
Yeah, we deal with them a lot.
Yeah, and like they're pretty good. They're new, so we're kind of like learning how to work with them, and newer officers are learning how to work with them. But they're really good to reach out to if, again, people have like any kind of like money issues, family issues, mental health issues. They're good to reach out to.
They're excellent, especially for my side, because a lot of times on the calls that I deal with is for mental health. And anyone can be in a crisis, like, Officer Nigro said, for any little thing. But especially on my side, it can be really tough for someone. There's a lot of suicide prevention out there, but the fact that you have the one-on-one with the officers, the EMTs, the medics, as well as the crisis team, we just want to let everyone know that, like, it is a safe environment. We are that safe space for you to, be candid and talk about your feelings and not just be left to the wayside. Like, we want to help you in any way that we can. And because of that, the environment amongst our fellow officers as well, like, we let each other know, like, we see each other every day on an everyday basis. So if there's any one of us that's in need, like, we have the resources at your fingertips to help you out.
So here at the Greenburgh Police Department, all of our police officers that are on patrol are issued their own body camera. So every time they're out on patrol, they will have this body camera on them at all times. It's always recorded in that buffering mode. As you see here, these are where all the cameras are. So what happens is, after the officer's done for the day, they come in, they dock their camera, and everything is uploaded to servers, which store all this information. And the cameras are linked to it's called the CAD system, our computer-aided dispatch system. So it will tag the type of call it is. So we keep the video for a certain amount of time, depending on the type of call it is. So if it's a simple traffic stop where there was, say, no ticket issued, nothing like that, it's only gonna keep it for a shorter amount of time. However, if somebody's arrested, the videos can be stored for a longer amount of time. Mm-hmm. Down here, these are for the tasers. So in addition to body cameras, all the officers on patrol are all issued their own taser. So it's really interesting. So they have to change this battery once a month or whenever they use the taser, because this stores all the information. And there's a lot of information in there. So it shows when it was turned on, how long it was used for, all kinds of facts. And once they dock that in there, same thing is uploaded to the servers.
Wow.
We have a lot of technology in this department. And
I didn't even realize the tasers save data.
oh yeah, and there's a lot of data, a lot. And it works hand in hand, the body cameras and the tasers. We actually have something new where as the patrol officers, anytime they pull their firearm out of the holster, it turns on their camera automatically. So everything is recorded and we collect a lot of data and it keeps everybody safe. There's nothing like a good, accurate video of what goes on. A lot of times you may hear this, there are 3 sides to every story. What this person said, what that person said, and the truth is somewhere there. Everybody has their own point of view of what happened, and this is great for recording how things happened. Or what transpired.
If there's one thing that you would like middle school or high school students to know about the police department and what it does, what would it be?
I mean, kind of speaking on what she was speaking of before, we're here to help you guys, right? So especially like middle school, high school, especially if it's like a party where people are drinking or whatever, everyone gets scared to call us and it's like they just arrest everybody. No, like we are here to help you. We were all teenagers at one time in our life, not that long ago, some of us. So we understand it and you should always call us, right? Like there's no reason not to call us. And we're all like very normal people. Like I have no cops in my family and my sister's like, you know, it's like so weird to me that you're a cop. Cause like even when I wasn't a cop, you picture cops as like cops only. That's it, that's all they are. Like, no, we're just normal. We can talk normal to you guys and you guys can call us for anything at all. We like to just hang out too and talk, so.
Yeah, big talkers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just don't ever be scared. Please tell them. Tell everybody, you know, we're 9 times out of 10 you're not going to get in trouble because you're doing the right thing.
It's basically one of the police cars, a typical police car. It's a Ford Explorer is what we're using right now. All the cars are equipped with, it's called an MDT or mobile data terminal. And this is how we are dispatcher calls. It's how we can look up history of locations, of calls. It's how we can run people's license plates. We can run people for warrants. It's all done through this computer. It also has map. It has AVL tracking, so we know where the car is in relation to where we're going. Additionally, you'll see right over here is the dash cam. That's your typical police dash cam. It consists of 2 cameras. One is a panoramic camera, and one is a straight-on camera. And this is the monitor where the officer sees everything that's going on. So these are always rolling. So it's what's called a buffering mode. It's always rolling. Now, as soon as the officer turns on their lights, that's when it records. So that signals the buffering to hold on to the 30 seconds prior to the lights going on, and then it just continuously records. Also records all kinds of other statistics like speed, brakes, everything like that. Yeah. There's also a camera in the back. The compartment where somebody was arrested, this is where they would be. So we also have a camera in the back. has IR vision so we can see what's going on. And everything is always recorded. All right?
Did you guys decide to use lights and sirens on your cars?
So it's different for both of us. You can go
Right.
first.
For us, any medical emergency that we're going to, we're going to go lights and sirens unless advised to not do so by our dispatchers. Could be for a different situation, or maybe someone got to the scene and said, you know, this is really not a medical emergency. You can kind of slow it down. But for us, everything is treated as an immediate emergency for us. So.
For us, obviously, if I'm pulling anyone over, I usually just turn my lights on. If someone doesn't notice me, I'll like hit my siren a couple times. And then if it's anything with like exigent circumstances, so anything where it's like, hey, you need to get there right now because someone is going to get really hurt or die, or something really bad could happen if you don't get there immediately, that's when we use them.
Are there rules for police on school property?
So that would really more be like up to the school. I mean, of course, like if there's anything dangerous happening, we take ownership over that stuff, right? But if a school says to us like, hey, listen, like we don't want you guys on the property coming and walking around because it makes the kids nervous, we're not gonna come around for fun. You know, if we have to be there, we have to be there. But other than that, there's no like rules that we're given of like, hey, you can't do this, you can't do this.
So evidence is very important. Evidence is super important in the police department. So we have an evidence room here, and only one person in the whole police department has access to it. It's called the evidence custodian. They are the only person who has access to evidence. So they need both a key and a code to get in. So it's double locked because they're responsible for everything. We have what's called the chain of custody. We want to make sure nothing gets tampered with, right? You guys all have heard about DNA evidence, all that type of stuff. You want to maintain a chain of custody so nothing is tampered with. So that's why he is the only one that has access to that. Everything could be in there, from simple DNA swabs to stolen property, to stolen TV. It's all stored there, drugs are stored there. And they have different protocols for how long things are kept for, when things are returned to owners, and so on. So what happens if Officer Nigro makes an arrest and she has some type of evidence, right? She puts it in an evidence bag, which is a sealed, tamper-proof bag that she signs. And once it's opened up, everybody knows. But goes right in here. It's an old-fashioned mailbox, right? You guys know a mailbox, you can only put something in, you can't take it out. So she dumps the evidence in here. Then once again, it's locked, and the evidence custodian is the only one who could get that. So that's how we maintain our chain of custody.
Thank you to the entire Greenburgh Police Department for being so welcoming to us and for all they do for the town.
Thanks for watching this episode of the Greenburgh Student News Network, and make sure to join us next month for part 2 of exploring the Greenburgh Police Department.
So Sully is our canine. So he's a patrol dog, meaning he's used for like bite work and stuff, and an explosive dog.
So we're very fortunate here in the Greenburgh Police Department that we have what's called a branch office of the Westchester County District Attorney's Office.
You could wear with a filter right on the front of it. And it's really tight. This is our water rescue stuff.
In what circumstances should someone call the police versus a mental health line?
Is that a bulletproof vest?
What is the protocol for using a taser or a gun?
Been watching you guys on camera all day, actually.
Oh, really?